Football. Fantasy. Football. Fantasy. Football. Fantasy. Football. Fantasy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listeners of Full Buddy Cast, we would like to make a major announcement right now. Full Buddy Fantasy Football Midweek Edition has now been changed to Garage Night for, who knows, forever? Who do we have on the Full Buddy Cast Fantasy Football? We had Craig Bentley.
Hi.
And we had his brother, Corey Bentley.
What up?
We will see how long this lasts until you guys get sick of us. This is going to be more than likely weekly. It could also, depending as we hit other things and stages of our lives, like when we hit the summer or we hit who knows what else in the world. Could be baseball. Could be. Do you guys do softball still?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we might not be able to do it every. In fact, we talked to Carrie, and she's like, you know, my Friday nights have changed ever since you guys started this thing. That's my Carrie Bentley impersonation.
That was okay.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was all right.
And she, so she voiced her opinion, which I started thinking, well, maybe we need to start figuring something else out. Maybe this might be every 2 weeks. Who knows? Longer episodes. Go to be continued. I don't know. The world is our oyster right now.
We're gonna do cliffhangers.
Cliffhangers.
Oh,
this is
Life's cliffhanger. Come on.
This is a cliffhanger that I want right now. Every week we're going to tell Mariana Rivera a movie, and at the beginning of the podcast we'll say, "Hey, we got a recommendation for you," and then we'll never give him the recommendation.
This is so good, and then just nothing.
Yeah.
Wait till the end to listen.
Stay till later on. Don't fast forward. We're gonna sandwich it in here somewhere, and then just never. Fast forward to minute 15:55. Maybe 21:06. Oh wait, 35:72. Wait, that's not a minute. 35. I'm just saying. I'm calling out plays right now. I'm under center.
I'm good with this as long as the payoff at the very end somewhere is to tell him to watch The Last Jedi, because that would just piss him off.
We know your recommendations already, though.
What's that?
Harry Potter.
Yeah, all of them.
Yes.
Read the books
1 through 6.
then watch all the
or
movies.
7.
Do a compare and contrast.
Make a week of it.
Speaking of that, let's just talk about just random stuff. I'd like to talk about random things with you guys all the time. You guys ready?
Yes.
You guys want to warm up real quick? Do you guys want a little rapid fire? Or do you guys want to just jump right into something that could take a while? What do you guys want?
Don't bother me. Rapid fire.
Let's do some rapid fire real quick. All right, so
What do you got there?
this is loaded questions.
Oh.
All right. So Corey, first, what would motivate you to live with a tribe deep in the Amazon right now?
What would motivate me to live?
This is rapid fire.
Fine. Peace of mind.
Oh, okay. What is life's greatest mystery, Craig?
Oh.
Rapid fire. Corey, what do you never want to forget?
My name.
Craig, what would you enjoy losing?
Oh.
This my virginity.
Your address?
Let's just try to flip this back around.
Yeah. Corey, if you own a restaurant, what type of food would you serve?
Oh, just waffles.
Ooh, Waffle House.
Nah, just waffles. I wouldn't call it that. I think somebody already has that one. It would be just me making waffles out of a toaster.
Craig, what is the best costume you ever wore for Halloween?
Oh, by far, Seamus.
That was pretty good.
Let's see here. Some of these things are just like long answers. Okay. Corey, if one animal became illegal for food consumption, which one would you want it to be?
That's a weird question. I'm going to go chicken. That would piss off a lot of people.
You're just going to piss people off? You're not like, well, I really don't want that, but I guess I'll get rid of this.
Legal where? It's different everywhere.
Craig, what will be the next company to go out of business? Like think of Blockbuster or things. What is the next company that you can think of that will go out of business?
Lumens.
I don't even know what Lumens is.
It's the new Century League.
They changed to Lumens? Oh, that's right. They renamed the field, too.
It just popped into my head. So there you go.
That's good. I like it. Actually, here is
This actually has brought me to a question. Seattle sports fans, maybe not, maybe are, I don't know, but probably grew up going to maybe a Sonics game in the past and a Mariners game, maybe even have attended a Seahawks game. I know that you guys with the NFL doesn't really matter to you guys too much, but there was 3 times in our lives, at least mine, where the Seahawks were owned by Ken Behring. They were going to get sold to Oakland. They would become the Oakland Seahawks or the LA Seahawks. Then you had, or I think it was LA, not Oakland, LA, because the Oakland Raiders were in Oakland at that time. Then the Raiders went to LA instead, but the Seahawks were supposed to go there. You also had the Mariners that were about to they're about to get shipped out as well until they had that magic run with Griffey and all those guys in, I think, 94, 95. And then you had the Sonics, who did eventually leave. Now there's talk 12 years later, or 16, whatever, how many years later, there's talks that they're coming back. Got to be 12, because how long has Durant been in the league? If you, as a local, not a Seattle team fan, but a Seattle sports fan, like you enjoy sports to watch, even if your favorite team comes into play and this and that, maybe if it's not the Seahawks, Mariners, or the Sonics, would you? What team would you have shipped out if you had to lose one?
Out of those 3 major teams that we did, I would have probably chose the Sonics.
And we've gone through that, so we know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Corey?
That would be close. I actually I've been to basketball games and baseball games. I actually enjoyed going to basketball games more. So based off of that, just personally, I would probably go Mariners over Sonics. But I am excited about, and this isn't part of your question, but
right,
that hockey is coming. And I am excited to go watch a hockey game.
Are you a Kraken ticket holder yet?
No, I'm just excited that it's coming and watch it. And I've been since before. I've been around it more. I went and played a couple times with some people and just been around hockey. And so I'm just excited to go watch a game.
Are you a hockey fan too?
I am. Yeah, I enjoy going to watch the T-Birds play, and I will go watch hockey with the Kraken. I mean, I'm not going to be a season ticket holder by any means, but I will go watch games.
Nice. Now, what brought you into hockey? Was it the Mighty Ducks?
For
Knuckle puck.
I just always wanted to be Canadian. So,
Dude, I'm telling you.
You actually kind of are dressed Canadian right now. You look like what's the Strange Brew, the movie.
When I went and played a couple of times, there's Scott who I worked with.
Mm-hmm.
He actually plays in leagues and does stuff. He got me to go out and play for a while, and I wasn't any good, but it was just fun. It was just a good workout. It was just fun. But there's some Russian guys that would show up, and they were just amazing. It was like they were playing soccer with the puck. Like they could just do anything, and
They were kicking it around.
Yeah, they could use their feet. They could do anything. Like it was like they would blow by and I'd be like, oh, all right, well that guy's gonna go score because I couldn't. Like I literally had a hard time skating backwards, and we're playing these pickup games with these guys who are just amazingly good. And it was fun.
Oh, so you say you used to play with Scott O'Hanlon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's who you meant by Scott. Shout out to Scott. In fact, I thought about him this week because I'm like, I always want to have him on. He would be a perfect person to come on for Garage Night.
He is, because he's somebody who over the years we've had so many random conversations and just like we'd be out front on break just saying random shit.
Absolutely hilarious too. Always funny. Always has got a good quick liner.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Okay, talk to him about that. So you're like, did you, after those guys started playing and going by you, were you like, okay, I'm done?
No, I stay out there and play. It was pickup games. They knew what was going on. They knew there's a couple of us there that weren't really that great.
Okay, so it
was on a smaller ice because it used to be called Snow King. I don't know if it still is, but there's a big ice, and we would go early in the morning, and it was all figure skaters on the big ice. Like it was already taken up, so we had to go play on the small ice. They knew what was up.
The back gym.
Yeah, it was basically the back gym. Yeah,
just hollow points of the ice where.
And I got into it for a little while. I started buying my own gear. Like I had half of the gear bought that I was gonna just start going playing with him because it was like I'm telling you, it's a workout. Like when you're done, you felt it, but you didn't feel like you were out there like sweating, but you're covered in sweat when you're done too. It was fun.
Did you ever go with him, Craig?
No.
Never?
Nope.
Now, I want to kind of kind of curious about this when it comes to pickup hockey games. Since you go to the gym and you'll see the people that play super hard when it's like basketball. They put everything into it. They charge the lane. They hack. They foul. And no, it wasn't a foul. When it comes to pickup games, you have those people trying to relive maybe their high school glory days and this and that. But when it comes to hockey, you can kind of get physical. Is anyone out there just smashing people? Or is it like, dude, chill out, bro? It's a pickup game.
In most of the games I played, it was only a couple guys that were, and they were good. So the good ones can control what they're doing. There was times we smashed into each other, but it was because some of us just weren't good enough to control it. We just ran in. And Jared actually came once or twice, I think he came and played, and he was the same as me. You just couldn't control it, so there was times we would hit each other. The guys that were good, if they hit you, it was for a reason. And you knew that it was for a reason because they can control it if they wanted to. And that it very rarely happened. But, it's guys talking shit and saying stuff back and forth, and sometimes that happens when you're playing.
Yeah, you get physical, you get hit the wrong way, and the next thing you know, you're like, dude.
And sometimes it's by accident because I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll try to do something and I hit somebody with a stick or do something that was unintentional, but they did it for so long that they're like, "Oh, that's kind of bush league," and I'm like, "I don't know what I'm doing," and they'll come back and hit you or do something, and you're kind of like, "Yeah, I know why you did that."
Now, football, you guys would play pickup football. Did you guys? I got invited a couple times. Went out there Thursday or Friday or Saturday, Thanksgiving. Maybe even Thanksgiving morning.
We used to play every morning.
All the time. And then it turned into after Thanksgiving, it was whoever could play for the next week or two.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah. Did it ever become more? Did you guys ever do
where we would try to get during a certain time period where every Saturday we'd try to get if we can get a game together in the morning, we get as many people as we could. It got harder as we got older because we switched into flag football.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us couldn't get hurt.
Right.
We all had to go to work and we didn't want to break a leg or whatever. So, but then it became harder to find enough people to actually just go make it fun.
Yeah.
You have to have at least a certain amount of people, and it was hard consistently getting that all the time.
And then Craig, did you guys ever have any fights or anything like that break out?
Oh, I think there was...
There's one in basketball for sure. I remember that one.
Was this in Buckley or was this in Enumclaw?
No, most of the time we were always in Enumclaw.
Yeah, most of the time.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's if you get 12, 15 guys together and the majority of them are a competitive nature, there's going to be maybe not necessarily a fist fight, but there's going to be trash talk. There's going to be people in people's faces.
Right.
You're going to do something on purpose to piss somebody else off.
Yeah, it's just
unless that's just me.
Well, it happens all the time. We even got into it during football. It's not like we got in a fight, but if we're on opposite teams, we're competitive. So and especially if we play tackle, we're doing something. Or we play flag, he'll come over and he'll tackle me and hit me down, and then I'll get pissed and I'll do something it's just part of being out there playing and doing it.
I think that's why I enjoy poker nights, because you still get the guys together. It's not physical, but it is a little mental. There's still that competitive nature. You get a drink, you get to eat a little bit, you get to tell some jokes, and then
there's still shit talking.
There's still trash talking for sure, but then it always gets awkward because there's that one hand. Where not awkward, but you could tell it's loosey-goosey, and then all of a sudden you realize that maybe 2, possibly 3 people have some monster hands right now.
It gets real very quickly.
And all of a sudden the chatter starts kind of stopping for a moment, and everyone's kind of focused, and you got the raises and the re-raises, and maybe the guy bluffing. People are now... And then after that hand, they flip it over. Oh, so this person did have a monster hand. This person had a monster hand. Got kind of a bad beat or whatever going. And then it goes right back to the next hand. Okay, we're just talking again. Unless you guys have more intense poker games where it may be that the buy-in's higher or stuff like that. And so
even when the buy-in's higher, a lot of the guys we play with have been the same group of guys for the most part for since I was 17, 18 years old. So everybody really knows each other. So even in those intense moments, there's levity that bring like you said, right after somebody makes a joke or somebody says some shit back and forth, and it just becomes, I guess, normal again on the table.
And I think it depends on the type of player you are, because most people don't change the way they play.
Right.
Right. A lot of people that play with me know I'm very tight player and I don't say a whole lot. So that
So wait, like even
Don't believe it.
oh. I see. Okay, I get it now. When it comes to you guys and competitive natures, being competitive brothers, has there ever been that brother fist fight, or has there ever been that brother like could have got real bad except mom and dad intervened or something like that? Or did you guys ever like obviously get frustrated with each other and maybe there's some push and shoving, some name calling, but it never escalated to where you guys were like full on decking each other's brains out?
No, I don't think we ever got to that point.
It's built up to like where we got pissed and
Right.
we said some shit
and I
back and
think
forth.
part of it was we're both very competitive.
Yeah.
And maybe even me more so. But the age gap that we had when we were actually like in high school or at that level, I think kind of preluded a little bit of that. Now, once we got out of high school and we played basketball, I mean, both of us are fairly decent basketball players.
Right.
And we were always competitive, right? To a point where there'd be something said to somebody if we were on opposite teams, like he said. But I don't know if it ever really came to a point where there was going to be blows.
No.
There's point where you're in the face and then you kind of walk away type deal.
I think a lot of it was at a certain age, I wasn't old enough to really do anything back. So he could just do shit to me and I couldn't do anything at a certain point. And then once I got old enough where I would do something or say something back, then that's when things actually started where we might actually have, I didn't let it go. So then it became something type of stuff. And then part of us being competitive too, it depended on who was on the other team. So like if Craig and me were on opposite teams, but like Jared was on my team, me and Craig didn't have any problem because Craig was going after Jared.
Did you ever get that thing, or maybe you, as an older brother, I got it. Now, I was 2 years older than my brother. You guys, what, 3.5, 4? What do you guys
Almost 4. 3.5 to 4. Yeah.
So I would always be told, and this is when the milk commercials were coming out, like once I drink milk, I'll get bigger and stronger than you, and I'll be taller and more, and this is who I'll be when I'm 25. And do you guys remember that milk commercial? Got milk? No? Okay.
Vaguely, yeah.
Moving forward, is my mom would say, like, hey, Trav, like, knock it off. Your brother's going to be bigger than you someday. And at the time, you're a warlord and you're like, like that's never going to happen. I'm going to enjoy it now then. Even more so for me to enjoy it now because I won't be able to do it later. Did you ever get that talk? Like, hey, chill out on Corey. He's 3.5 years younger than you and he's going to be bigger than you someday.
I don't know if I got the he'll be bigger than you someday. There's definitely that, when we were younger, the chill out type deal. Because, my old man was...
Stop shoving him in freezers.
Yes.
Was this when you guys worked at Safeway together?
No, this is a home chest freezer when I was younger.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Shoved me in there and sat on top of it for a while.
Wow.
It's because I didn't know about putting him in a dryer.
So we chose the freezer instead.
It had to be the extreme heat at some point, either super cold or super hot.
I think there was one moment for him though that he realized the difference. Because when I was younger, I was always like $170, $180. Even as I got older and I would say shit back to him, he was still big enough that like physically he could throw me around. But there was one point where we were playing football and he ran up to hit me. And then he kind of bounced backwards a little bit.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, I'm not 180 anymore. I'm like 220 now. So what you're hitting me with isn't the same. I can kind of go back at you. And that's the moment where I was I'm like, isn't the same anymore. It's not going to work.
Right. So what'd you do? Listen, I got a story for you, but as an older brother, once you saw that as a competitive, I feel like you guys both like strategy, probably like your strategy games and this and that too, because you're competitive, you want to win. What did you think once you bounced off of him? Where you're like, okay, now I'm gonna take out your knee. Like what?
I'm gonna hit you from behind now. Won't even see it coming.
Ooh, he's right.
He'll wait till I'm up in the air trying to catch a pass and just like defenseless receiver take me out.
We're on the same team.
220, 240 doesn't matter from behind.
I would have won the game. Not the game I'm playing. So for my brother, I remember when we were in high school, I was driving him into like school, and the joke between the friend group is he's good genes. is because he has all the good genes of the family. Like he's skinny, he's got all of his hair, he's got the jaw structure. Like there's a lot of things that he has that I don't have, and so the joke is that he's good genes. So as I'm driving him into town, I think we're going to school. Him and I start lipping off at each other. We're brothers, and he's like ready to fight me, and I'm ready to fight him, and I'm driving. And this has never escalated to this point. Sure, there's been arm punches and this and that, but nothing to like where I want to pull over and start beating him up, and he wants to like get out and start beating me up. And I'm probably a senior. He's probably like a sophomore. So we're a little more evenly matched right now. Anyway, I remember as we do the Wayne's World going back in time that probably about a year prior to this, I was with Eric Madrid at his house, and I was never the strong kid. I was the string bean. I was the weak one. Well, Eric was stronger than me, and I was spending the night. We're watching some movie or this or that, and he pissed me off, and he started punching me. We got in this fight, and I just punched him really hard in the side of the ribs, like super hard, knocked the breath out of him, and this and that. And I say this and that a ton. Holly Graff always calls me out on saying that I say this and that all the time. And I realize I do say that now all the time. So I'm super sorry. By the way, we're sponsored by this and that.
You're going to have to do like a count meter underneath where it like keeps track.
Yeah. I actually went to this and that, the actual store in town, and I was shopping.
Try to get a shirt that said this and that.
I told her jokingly.
What was in there?
So here's the thing. It was closed. My brother-in-law knows the owners, and they're older than us. I think he knows them as their friends' parents. I know I'm going into a different story real quick. But I'm perusing, we may be talking, and I just finished up at Cole Street. I was going to go back to Cole Street, but I'm like, hey, I do this podcast, and I say this and that all the time. What if I were to like get sponsored by you guys? And they laughed, but they pretty much said no. And I thought, this is me drinking, or I had been drunk. I'm like, what would they sponsor me with? Because usually I'll do the goods, like Mazatlan or what Cole Street, or even Bordeaux Wine Bar will be something that I'll get a drink, at a cheaper rate, or food at a cheaper rate, like this and that, like. Can I get that doily 50% off? Like what is it that I'm going to get from this and that? So obviously they're looking at that going, what is it? What are we going to give this guy that's going to be fun for him? But anyway, go to this and that if you can, and just wow them and say, I was listening to Full Buddy Cast. Travis always says, and Joey always says this and that, and that's what brought us here, to tell you that he always says it. It's a podcast. Explain the thing to him. She kind of like, okay, have fun. But no. Anyway, so back to this. So I punch my brother as hard as I can in the ribs as we're driving. And he was put into submission. That was the thing. He doubled over, lost of breath, probably thought he was going to die, eyes bulging out. He's not a one-eyed guy. And I felt horrible. Like, I realized that I not only was a little stronger than him because I was 2 years older, but I knew a weak point to hit him, and I felt, because I made him cry. Sorry, Adam, if you listen to this, I made you cry like a little baby. I felt horrible.
Did you ever feel horrible?
Yeah, that was my next question.
No.
To anything you did to me?
No.
Ever?
Is there something that he should feel horrible? Like one thing?
There's a lot of things he should feel horrible
Did he pants you in front of like your like crush when you were like in high school or anything like that?
No, there's the freezer thing, the dog statue that I got pictures of that my parents didn't believe me on. God, there's a lot of stuff. There's only one time I ever got him back, and then he doesn't give me credit for it.
I feel like the water sprung a leak again.
Yeah.
It's true.
I hear it coming.
Uh-oh.
Get your headphones up and down, quick.
Uh-oh.
Headphones.
Headphones, what am I doing?
Up and down last time.
What'd I do?
I don't know. Pick them up.
Ah! Is it doing anything? Hold on. That's so weird. It's like this thing that's about to burst. It's like
It's waiting.
And then you just gotta like mess it around a little bit. All right. We're back. Sorry about that. We had to put that leak out. Thank you. What you guys don't know is that Corey has put his finger in this wall where there's this leak.
I can't take it out now.
He can't take it out right now, so it might be building back up. You might hear it build back up again.
My arm's going to go numb eventually.
I feel like it's building back up.
Just don't move the finger.
It's like a good fist.
Could you shove that thing in there?
It's like a good fist pump. It's just building up.
Okay, let me ask you this. As we're talking about childhood stuff, did you guys' parents, did you have a vehicle when you were a kid where it was like, had to like do something to jiggle it to get it to start, or you had to like pump it extra times with the gas? Like, was there anything to start your car?
Corey still has that.
Yeah. On my truck, you got to like pump it like 9 times to start it right now.
What's the age on that car?
It's a 99.
It's like a Ford Ranger. What is it?
It's a 99 F250.
Really?
Yeah, you just got to. Just needs a little love. Just 9 pumps. That's all it takes.
Do you have the thing where it not only to start it, but you actually have to get it to go? Like, let's say you're at a dead stop at an intersection, they have to feather it a little bit, and then it'll
it's solid. It just needs that one love
just to get it going,
and then it goes.
Wow, little foreplay.
Yeah, that's all it needs.
Did you ever have a car like that, Craig?
I've had multiple cars that had weird.
Remember that Cougar you had?
Yes.
That he would turn it. What did you do? Make it say kilometers per hour, so everybody thought he was going faster than he was.
I got some people.
He got me to tell on him once because he took me in the car. He's like, "I'll drive you around," and he put in kilometers and drove me. And then I got back and I was like, "Mom, Dad, you're not going to believe how fast we were going."
That's awesome. That's a great prank.
It was.
That is a great prank.
Other than having to drive that Cougar around.
What's the best prank you've ever pulled? I feel like that's a great prank.
Oh man, I don't know.
Think about it. What about you? Any good prank? Or do you remember a prank being pulled on you? Maybe we'll ask that, because everyone remembers the prank that they got pulled on, where they're like, "Oh, I'm an idiot for like years for even believing this."
No, I remember one prank we tried to do. I'm pretty sure it was Jared and me. We got invited to this party, and we went over to the party, and we didn't know a lot of people. I think Gunderson was there. There was a couple people there, and Jared brought saran wrap with him and tried to do the saran wrap
around a car.
No,
on
the toilet, like the clear saran wrap on the toilet. And like, so we were legit there for like 10 minutes. And so we got there, we like say hi to people. He's like, "Oh, I'm going in." He went and did it. And then like we're like, "Oh, we're leaving." And they're like, "Why are you leaving already?" And we're like, "No, we're gonna go ahead and go." And I have no idea whether it actually went. I did more scamming than pranking.
See, I was never really a big prank guy, or I really don't remember getting pranked a lot either. I mean, you have your dumb stuff like
we got egged in toilet paper at the house.
Yeah, I mean that is what it is. Shit. I mean, in high school, I did try the whole tax on a teacher's chair.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That did not go well.
Did you put acid in
Atkins?
In Atkins. You know who did that?
No.
I have no clue who did that.
Well,
that was the thing that was told for years.
Well, that was a folklore story there. But no, I did. I did
not
tax.
Jackson.
What's that?
Who was that?
He's. Oh yeah,
the tax.
This is Miss Patrick.
Oh, that's right. It was Patrick. Yeah.
Keep going.
That was pretty much it.
That was it.
As soon as it happened, she stood up, pointed right at me, and said, "Go to the office."
This one time, I was driving home I was driving to Young Life or driving home from Young Life. I don't know. All I know is I was driving my parents' like white Ford Aerostar, and I had
a solid van.
It was. I had my buddy Mark Drummond in the passenger side, and we're driving. We see a hitchhiker who was like a teenager, so I picked him up, and it was this kid that later Mark was like freaked out about. Like Mark was like, "Dude, this guy's got like evil spirits, dude. This guy's just a weird dude. Like this dude's just got like weird stuff going, bad juju," which fed into my belief. Like I'm like, okay, so this is what happened. So we're sitting there, we're driving, and we're listening to music, and all of a sudden the radio station changes, and we're like, "What the heck?" Like it just changed out of nowhere, and then I'm like, "Dude, we were just listening to Cube 93," and all of a sudden the channel changed back to Cube 93. And I'm like, what? Is this voice activated? Like me, like this is my parents' car. Like I don't drive it that much. Like I have no clue what's going on. Like is this blowing my mind right now? Nowadays, yes, it's probably everything's voice activated. Who knows? But at that time, it was like a little dial and maybe some preset 5 that you could push and you'd get. So then Mark's like, oh, 107.7. And then it went to 107.7. And we're like, what the heck is going on? We start saying random numbers now, and it's the radio's changing to those stations. And my mind is like, I'm at a loss. I'm at a complete loss. And we eventually drop this guy off, go home. As we're driving home, we're saying the radio stations. Nothing's happening to the radio. Nothing at all is happening to the radio. Have you guys figured it out yet?
So we had a Ford Aerostar growing up. We had a gray one growing up with our parents. We rode it all the time.
And we used to do that. Used to piss my dad off.
Yeah. And I think the reason my dad bought that, if you remember, because those Aerostars were built on a truck frame, and that's how he sold himself having a van. He's like, it's built on a truck frame.
So yes, I know you can go ahead and explain it. But I know where you're going.
Yeah, so me and Mark were just bizarrely weirded out. We get to my parents' house. I tell them the story. They're like, yeah, you don't know this? You ride in the back of the van when we drive everywhere. I'm like, what? They're like, the radio dial that's on the side of the wall by where you sit. I'm like, oh my gosh, that dude got me. Oh, like I was fully believing in ghosts, evil spirits, like everything, especially with Mark feeding that into my mind. Like I'm like, oh, this is it. This is what's happening. Van's possessed.
If I was that guy, I would have got out of the car, knocked on your window, rolled it down, just said something to you to make, because you were in full belief.
Yeah, it was a complete belief.
You should just been like, I wouldn't drive over 5 more miles and just leave or something. Because you would have been sitting there going, what do we do?
Yeah, that was a good prank.
Yeah.
That was a good prank. Got me good. So you guys used to mess with it with your dad?
Yes.
And what was he like?
He figured it out, and then he used to get mad. Like, stop touching that shit back there.
Was he ever the guy that would reach around and grab your legs behind the car? Like if you're kicking a seat, freaking just grab those legs.
No, he's the type of guy that would slam the brakes, get out of the car,
Yeah.
open up the
Rip
door.
you out.
If he said he was going to pull over, he would.
I think that's the type of guy that I am. I am anger guy when I'm driving. Like I'm the type that makes no sense. Like turn on the radio, I'm lost. like
I gotta think clearly. This music is not helping.
At one point, this is way back in the day, it was Easter. No, maybe St. Patrick's Day. Anyway, I was driving. We had a PT Cruiser. It was me and my ex-wife and my kids, and they're probably 6, 8, and 4. I don't know, but they're nonstop, just screaming and yelling at each other, bugging each other. I warned them. Finally, to wake them up, I just slam on the brakes and veer, I'm gonna pull it over and rip them out of the car and do what your dad used to do. Literally went into the soft grass and just got stuck. And I'm like, cars driving by. I'm like, no cell phone service. I'm like, this. Look what you did, you little jerk. Anyway, finally this guy came by and he
PT Cruiser, huh?
Trying to off-road that thing.
he pulled us out. Yeah, but I got towed out. Another time when I was driving, I was a teenager, I thought I was so cool. Maybe you guys, I don't know. Tell me some stories if you guys hear this, but and interrupt me at any time. But I'm driving. I'm with Brandon Harris. I'm with a few other people that I wanted to impress. I'm driving now. Ooh. Anyway, I did the whole reverse, because I had an automatic reverse to drive, where if you went into reverse just a little bit and then you threw it into drive, it would chirp the wheels. So I'm driving in Cumberland going 35 miles per hour, thinking I'm going to just blow their minds. And I go from drive to reverse. Kills the car.
And then you looked over. See?
I'm like, huh? You didn't see that one coming, did you?
Impressed, huh?
And I slugged my brother in his chest. And you guys do anything stupid like that? Let's talk about stupid stuff that you thought was actually going to work well for.
I used to just think I was cool. I would get out of school and I had my F-150 and I would just roll the windows down, and I was into Weezer a lot back then, and I would just blare Weezer and just drive by like I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, listen to my Weezer jams, guys.
Oh, I go just like Buddy Holly.
Yeah. I did that, I think, junior year, like almost every day I got out of school. I'm like, it's Weezer time.
Everyone's so cool I am.
Check this out.
I've maybe messed up a couple cars on Cemetery Jump.
Oh my gosh!
I thought that was cool.
Should you be dead?
One of them, very possible.
Tell the story.
Well, I decided I was gonna do it at night, and I was actually in the Cougar. And
after you already did that to the truck, isn't that how you broke the block on the truck?
Engine mounts, yes. But anyway, we went over it. I don't exactly remember the speed, but it was enough to get all four tires in the air. And because it was at night, when you landed, you saw these cool sparks all over the place,
my
right?
gosh.
I was like, oh, this is awesome! And it ended up that it wasn't awesome.
What happened?
Well, I mean, nothing happened as it was going, but by the time I got home, the car was done. I mean, there was stuff all over the bottom of it. I didn't know until the car stopped.
Oh,
I was able to continue to drive, put it that way, and went to the destination, and we're talking, there's skid plates, all that stuff under the car were mangled. You could tell that something had hit. I mean, you could tell that, and of course, my dad, being able to look at the car, knew
exactly.
You could tell something happened to
So
it.
what happened to you?
To me? Like,
Yeah.
as in getting in trouble?
Yeah.
Um,
Grounded from the car for like a week, or like what was it?
I honestly don't even remember at this point. I mean, there
you
was
had to pay for this.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. When we were raised, we paid for all of our stuff anyway, for the most part. I mean, my parents helped, obviously,
Right.
but we were in charge of if the truck needed something, car needed something, gas, we paid for all that stuff.
Gotcha.
That's why we were both started working at 15 and a half,
Yeah.
is because that's what we wanted to do.
Pay for all your guys' mishaps.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
I think I was in the most anticlimactic cemetery jump ever.
Oh no!
Because so I had my little Ranger, and then my buddy had a little Ranger. Mine was extended cab, his wasn't. And these are guys that in my Ranger before left shot. Like, we're down on the highway just driving, and they're shooting fireworks. Like, I look over, they're shooting fireworks out of my window, just random shit. These people like. So we decided we wanted to go over cemetery jump, but we decided to take his Ranger, no extended cab, and then it decides that like 4 or 5 guys want to go.
Oh wow!
So we have all these guys piled into this Ranger. Literally, 2 of them are laying like sideways over top the people sitting, and we couldn't close one of the doors, so it's like being held. And we go over the cemetery jump, and we're getting speed, and then we hit it, and it literally just goes bump because we had so much weight in the truck that it did nothing. And I was like, this was not fun at all. This is just worthless to do this right now.
Yeah.
It's so anticlimactic.
Dude, I love cemetery jump only because you could bring out of towners. Like if you're like, oh hey, they have no clue about this thing.
True.
And then you would. I remember driving a few people that it would just be like, we would hit this. I just gun it just a little bit, like beforehand, and where you just get that bottom falls out. You feel like you're on a roller coaster, and they're like, whoa.
We used to do that. So back on the back road going to the fairgrounds, there's like a gravel trail that's like a 90-degree turn on it. It just goes up and then turns left, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's just a field, but there's a little gravel road there.
Okay.
Like there's a house and then it goes on the gravel road. I don't know if you've been down that way.
No,
Remember what I'm talking
no.
about. But Jared had a Skylark back in high school, a big long boat. And we used to call it the 90-degree turn, and we'd get people in the back of his Skylark. We'd be in the front, and he'd go hit that 90-degree turn and start spinning through the field with the Skylark.
Really?
And that's where we would go hit and have it go spinning. Everybody would be in the back, what are you guys doing? We're like, oh, we're going to the 90-degree turn. I'm like, what are you talking about? And we go hit it and just spin out his Skylark with everybody in the back seat, and then we just find somebody else to go do it with. And back then, you didn't have to have seatbelts in that car either.
Because it was
Because the
like
year of the car.
1960
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember almost dying. I was a chicken shit. I'll always be a chicken shit until the day I die. We've had this conversation. Maybe you've listened to this conversation, but I am the guy that's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do whatever you say. Like if there was right now, people walked in with guns and like to us masked, and they're like, we want to take over this house and give us all your possessions.
We'd like to record this podcast.
We'd like to sit down and be on it.
We're like, okay, right away, sir.
You can shoot the other two. I'll record with you.
Those guys do nothing. What happens if that sound comes back? You don't know what to do. By the way, that sound that comes back, the way to fix it is literally like playing the regular Nintendo, where you just blow on the cartridge. Here, you just kind of like clink it back and forth a couple times, and it finally goes away. It's like the dumbest way of fixing this thing. But yeah, no, I remember driving with Mark Drummond, and we had like Brianna Breidenbach and her friend, and I was like trying to be impressed. I think we came back from exactly that's what happened. We went to the Auburn, not Super Mall, the
Incredible Universe.
No, the movie, the drive-in. You guys ever go to the drive-in over there in Auburn? Yeah. And so we were coming back from that, driving back roads, and Mark wanted to go off this jump, and we went over it, and he hit it so friggin' hard, and like it was scary. Like it was literally scary. Like I thought he was gonna like lose control of it and go careening off the side of the road. And I'm like, oh, we survived. And then he's like, well, let's do that again. And he turned it around, and I'm just like, no.
You thought you were going to die then?
Yes.
Wait till now.
He did it like 4 or 5 times, and each time I'm like almost in tears, as if my brother punched me in the ribs. And I was just like ready to, I was by the 5th time, I'm screaming at him, not again! Like no more, Mark, I hate you! Yeah, so anyway, there you go. There you go, guys. Hey, real quick before we jump into something else, if we jump into something else, we'll do some listener shout-outs real quick. A lot of people on that last one hit me up at least, possibly hit you guys up. Corey got deep for a moment, which is pretty, like, one of those things where it's like, Craig and I are like, kind of like, when you see someone talk about something, I wouldn't say deep, maybe deep, not passionate, but you were like into it. Like you could see that your eyes had kind of glossed over, and you were like,
oh, Craig's seen that before when I
like,
talk about stuff.
where you just like you're like already into full on teach us mode. Did you get any feedback from any of your friends on that?
Not really. Nobody really hits me up for that stuff.
I thought you said
Jared texted me. I talked to Jared, but we were texting on random stuff, and he said something about it. We went back and forth a little bit.
We do talk about Jared quite a bit here.
Yeah,
he's not make believe.
No, he's real.
He's a real person.
One of these days,
He's a real boy.
One of these days, when you get this 4th slot going over here on this machine, and we can have the 4th person for garage night, he's definitely is going to come and do it.
I can't. That's exciting. Nick Nance said Cyberpunk was fun. I beat the main story. Have you guys beat the main story yet?
I've beat it 2 different ways so far.
I stopped playing it to try to save it for a machine that works fully as I do it.
He goes, I'm not much of a gamer. I'm already all gamed out. Huh. Maybe he means he's all gamed out of that game. Like he doesn't want to do the different side
Well,
questions.
there is a lot.
There's a lot to do.
I mean, a lot.
He goes, hadn't even used my... Oh, and he also said, but he hadn't even used his PS4 in years until recently. So maybe he's getting back into gaming. Which COVID that's what's happening. You know, people are rediscovering things from baseball card trading and this and that to this and that.
I think that's part of the reason why the video game sales are just
skyrocketing.
what they are. Yeah, I think why people are paying the price on eBay for the machines they can't get is because they're just... When you're in this bubble,
stuck at home,
and you want something to do, it's bringing back things that you used to be doing all the time.
Yeah. Well, if he's getting back into games, though, that is a pretty tough game to.
It's a lot at first.
Because I mean, if you haven't gamed for a while, most people aren't going to spend 2, 3, 4 hours at a time on a game.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the kind of the game you have to do.
Well, especially depends on what kind of game you were before. If you're just a guy that plays like sports games and Madden and just like a couple of here or there, or just online stuff. Fully jumping back into like this solo 4 hours a night type thing is hard.
Let's see. We got some other feedback. Oops, hit the wrong button there. We always get feedback from our Patreon people as well. Also, hit up the sponsors of Full Buddy Cast. Cole Street Brewery. Say hi to Sean. I talked to him a couple days ago. We're going to get back into doing podcast again. He had a busy holiday season, obviously, as a store owner, as a company owner, as a business owner, as a main brewer, Meister brewer. He's going to be busy, but we're going to get back into the swing of things for him. Let's see.
I think he also we need to do one garage night with him as a fourth too.
Garage night would be great. I love our garage nights. Craig and I were kind of going back and forth about some fantasy football, prove it, back and forth. I feel like I got a text from somebody too.
Is that your Brady bet that you guys had?
We had, yeah, and I won it.
Did you?
I did.
You sure?
He was like 9th or 10th. He was close. Did you do the math on it?
I didn't look at it. No.
Yeah, no. Everyone went off that week. Actually, thankfully,
it was a 2-week bet. So this week he really
no. By the way, I just looked. It was 40-7. So they did score. The Lions scored.
Good for them.
Congratulations, Lions! Way to do it. The participation trophy.
I'm hoping for Craig's daughter's sake, it was Marvin Jones that scored.
True.
Let's see who it was. No, I'm kidding. All right, so thanks for the shout-outs. Thanks for the sponsors as well. Go to Mazatlan, say hi to Andy Cardenas. We'll bring him in. That'd be kind of fun, is just to kind of bring all these people in.
Dude, I'd love it. That and the listeners out there that actually do listen to us, now that we know, because there's some people that probably listen, enjoy what we talk about, maybe tune in or out based on the football stuff.
Right.
Or the opposite way. I mean, there's probably people that don't care to listen to us unless it was football. But
or neither. So like, I'm done.
Shoot us some topics. Random stuff.
Yeah, please hit us with topics. That'd be fun. We would love to talk about whatever you want, from wine. I'm not a wine guy, but I could do some wine. From stuffed olives, stuffed green olives. I'm a huge.
I'll talk about wine. I mean, I could name like
5.
We'll just go down the aisle at Safeway before the podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw this one.
I'll have to do some research.
Yeah, so please hit them up. Please hit us up. One thing I was going to say concerning Carrie. Now, the cool thing that Craig does, now you guys can do this too. If you have a best friend or someone that you work with, perhaps a spouse, that you could just, play the podcast out loud and take them hostage and make them listen to it too.
Yeah, just put it on the car. It doesn't matter who's in the car.
Yeah.
Just play it.
Who cares? Did you hear about Tesla? This is the pop culture quiz of the week for you guys. Tesla has uploaded their own car horns now. From anything from a train that we're used to even farts. What would be
interesting?
What would be the horn that you would want to download to your Tesla and use that as your horn from now on?
I don't know what the horn would be. I wish I bought that stock a year ago, though.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Are you a stock guy?
Dabble. I'm not really. I don't really know what I'm doing.
Maybe the ice cream man truck, and just ruin. Like everyone's like looking outside.
They don't know who it is,
and they don't know who it is, and it's just ruining children's lives. It's December, and the ice cream man's here.
I'm gonna go with Chris Farley's voice and like Tommy Boy quotes. That'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Quoting.
Yeah.
Quotes would be awesome.
What would be the quote though that would be really that would get people's like? I'm trying to think of any movie that would get people's attention, where you're just
Tommy want wingy. That's what I wanted. Tommy want wingy.
Not a finger. What would be? Tommy want wingy.
Tommy
like, what the heck is behind me? Look what you did. Or wait, what'd you do?
Or when he's knocking on the hotel door.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Me fluff your pillow.
Okay, so then that reminds me of the like late 90s, early 2000s when people would prank you with pre-recorded. Did you guys get those
like on
pranks?
the Nokia phones?
It would be.
What are you talking about?
You would get it. It would be like a. It was back when like Napster and other
MySpace,
LimeWire
types of things where you could be able to download clips and like voice quotes and bytes and all that. In fact, I remember that was a cool thing when you got a computer. If you had your error message pop up, my brother and I actually did that on the main computer. Would be like, "What'd you do, Richard?" or like something like that. It would be actually it was a lot of fun when you could program your computer to do that. But people would call you and they would say like, you'd like, hello? And they'd be like, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. And you'd say, who is this? And then they would play something else from another movie and another movie. Did you guys ever get that?
No.
I got that all the time. I don't know what friend was pranking the crap out of me nonstop.
You still don't know who it was?
No clue.
I hope
Probably
I hope they listen to this.
Yeah.
Come clean.
Yeah, probably that guy that I picked up in the van. like I'm gonna mess with this guy the rest of my life. He's the most gullible person I know.
On your deathbed, he shows up. He's like, it was me the whole time.
But then it would be like a Usual Suspects where I really wasn't dead, but I wanted him to come clean.
I got you.
I knew it.
I want to meet this guy now.
Yeah. And that guy was like, and then that guy reverses me and he's like, I knew you'd still be alive, so I poisoned your waffles that you got at Corey's restaurant earlier today with rice.
He's in on it. Did you get this guy's name? What was his name?
He was so this is why I don't remember the guy's name. He was actually probably your grade, but Craig's grade. He was the son of a pastor that was totally not. He was like not pastor kid at all. Like he was. I remember being at the activity bus and the guy was popping shrooms. Like this dude was.
I've seen that a lot. You need to be more specific. I had an 8th grade laser show. I looked over. These two guys are just shrooming it and watching this laser show. I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" Oh, they're shrooms. And I was like, "Oh, all right."
Did you have some?
No.
Oh,
I wasn't that experimental back then.
Anyway, I don't know what this guy's name was. But
I had my Dare Bear man just straight.
Oh yeah, Doug the Dare dude. Was he your Dare officer too?
Pippin, I think, was
Officer Pippin.
Dare officer, I believe, if I remember right.
Was Doug the Dare dude for you?
Only directly a year ahead of you.
Speaking of that, did you guys have that guy come in? I forget his name that did the hook shots from half court.
Magic Charlie?
Yeah, you remember
that? That was awesome. Magic Charlie ruled.
Magic Charlie from the Globetrotters, right? Or he used to be.
I think he used to be. Now he just travels to high school gyms throwing up hook shots from half court.
Those assemblies were so fun, though. It's just because was the assembly fun because you weren't in class, or was it fun because of the people that were actually entertaining?
I think it was a mix of not being in class, like you got to go hang out with your friends and just kind of just laugh. You could BS even if you weren't watching. So I remember there were some horrible assemblies too, like where you're just like, this is stupid, but you're with your buddies.
Yeah, I think a combination of both.
Yeah.
I think the high school assemblies got better though.
They did as you got older because a lot of people that were seniors tried to participate, do stuff, random stuff in it.
They had the competition to the classes and all that stuff. Yeah,
I remember when Dixon Harding came out to do a pep rally for soccer. People got to play soccer because I think your grade had like Tyler Brune and like Dixon Harding and with Joey Smith.
Yep.
And he was like, Dixon gets the microphone. This is like pure WWE. This is like WWF back then, but this is like where people would grab a microphone and like they would like try to hype the crowd and do some play to the crowd. And he was just like, all right, guys, well, we got a game against Tahoma tonight. We need you guys out there. We need your support. Come on out, 6 p.m., blah, blah, blah. So you get your lawn chairs, bring your cold ones and sit back and crack some cold ones. And we were like, I remember being like, who's talking about beer?
This guy is so cool.
I can't believe it. Meanwhile, I did not know there's Sean in his factory making like wine and stuff as a teenager. That was always fun. That was always cool, but I don't know. I think the Jake Paquette when they sang "Time of the Life" that was pretty fun. That was a funny one too. Other than that, I don't really remember too many. I just remember being a couple, but not that stood out as much as that Jake Paquette one. I'd say.
I was trying to remember stuff from my freshman year because you were there, but I don't remember. The school was torn apart then.
Oh yeah, for ours.
Yeah,
I
was a freshman. You were a senior.
Yeah, so that was kind of lame for us. For you guys got to just live life to its fullest.
I think we were one of the last classes that got to do that.
They had the commons. It was like,
yeah,
sucked. Being a senior, it just was the worst. No. Anyway, I don't have anything real more to say except for I kind of wanted to start this episode talking football and then moving and then, like fantasy football and then move into because that's what we would do. We would always talk about something else for 20 minutes and then we would talk about fantasy football. Here we didn't talk about it at all. So is this a complete garage night?
Fantasy football.
We can talk about whatever we want.
Fantasy football is dead to me.
Oh, you're that mad.
You know,
it broke your brain so much you couldn't even say the
You
words.
know what we should talk about is we joined a cornhole league.
That's
and
true.
And we're going to start a cornhole league.
Next week.
It's packed, I heard.
Yeah, but
we were one of them. We were one of the 12 that got in.
This is what I was going to say, though. They're going to start more leagues for the next couple months after January, and they're going to extend the amount of teams. So look for signups because they're going to make more teams available.
So what's the COVID regulations? You got to wear masks.
Mask
You got to wear a
gloves.
mask, and they provide gloves for you, supposedly.
What are the gloves for?
I think it's just
People don't wipe their nose.
Touching the
and
same
touch it.
bags.
I think you're touching the
Gotcha.
same bags, yeah.
But they're still wiping their nose and still touching the same bags.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm just hoping these gloves don't affect my throw.
How do you guys feel? Do you guys feel confident? Like you guys just run the
Well,
league?
I am sitting next to a 2-time City of Auburn
3-time.
cornhole. Is it 3-time? Oh, that's my bad. 3-time champion.
Okay, so here's the deal.
What?
I feel confident whenever I play cornhole, but I know for a fact there's going to be some guys out there
That are good.
that are actually good. So we'll just see how we do as a team.
Okay, so right now,
There's times I'm on and times I'm off, so we'll see.
have you guys practiced yet?
No.
No.
I need to.
Just going in cold.
I'm just hoping everybody else is doing that.
I haven't played cornhole since the fantasy football draft.
Do you guys do a man games at all?
Yeah.
I feel like your guys' group does.
We do for the draft. I mean,
What kind of games are you
see,
talking
he wasn't
about?
around. I did some of that when you guys used to do that.
Yeah, I remember doing that too.
Yeah.
Is that when you guys went and played like the frisbee games out in the field?
Did you come over to whose friend group was that with?
I came over.
Jared was playing it,
several
wasn't he?
times. Yeah.
I think Jared was playing.
I remember 3-4 times I played, but
with like Henry and those guys?
with Henry
level.
Well, I think he was there. See, some of the guys I didn't know, but I remember the biggest one I played in was at the old junior high,
Yeah.
and everything was set up,
Yeah.
doing different stuff and all that.
Back in the day, man. That's got to be like 15 years ago.
Probably.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 10. Feels like 15. Sorry, Corey, you never got the invite.
That's okay. I probably would have been so mediocre that nobody would have cared.
I feel like we're going so. Oh yeah, so you feel confident then with the cornhole?
I feel good. I'm not going to say that I am going to walk in there and be like, I'm going to win this entire thing, but I feel good when I play.
Can you put the spin on stuff? Can you get the thing where it's like where you're watching it on ESPN too, where like they can just spin and just land at the edge? And
So
create
the problem
wall?
with a lot of that stuff is, and I've never played with them, is what you see on ESPN is a double-sided bag. So there's a slick side and there's a more grip side. I have never played with double-sided bags.
Is this going to be double-sided?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I feel like those incredible shots that airman will do. I feel like I can do that, but there's not as much control. Like I think in my head, I know what I'm doing. Where if they think it, they can like throw it a certain way. Where I'm like, I get lucky and it happens. But like I said, I feel confident in my game, but I don't know about against.
I would
a lot
say
of other people.
if he's on and I'm on, it would be hard to beat us. There was 2 years ago, me and Kyle were both on. We were playing my house for the draft, and we ran through everybody. We didn't lose. We played for like hours straight because we were just both on. And if I was throwing 4, it was 3 in the hole. Like it was just that night I was on. But if I'm off, I'm way off too.
See, that's one thing with cornhole. If you're playing doubles, it does take both of you to be on to be good.
Right.
Like, I don't care if somebody throws it in the hole every time. If the other person's not scoring on the other end,
It ain't happening.
it doesn't matter.
Right. Horseshoes or cornhole?
I am way better at cornhole than I am horseshoes.
Yes, as well.
My brother, this is a thing that he gets been, and you guys probably have this too, where with your friend group, once something happens, like maybe mid as something is happening, you're realizing in your head, this is going to be talked about almost every time we get together for the rest of our lives. Like maybe you've done something, had something happen, maybe you totally crapped your pants in front of them. They're like, okay, now you're the pants crapper. My bro at the Yellowbeak was playing horseshoes. People were watching. He gets nervous. He threw the horseshoe over the fence
Car.
and hit a car.
I don't know if this will make him feel better, but remember we played the foul balls at softball. We invited the radio station, the foul balls. They came down and played our softball team, and we went to the beak afterwards.
Yep. And
there was people that had played softball that knew what was happening, so they had come to the beak, and there's a bunch of people there, and I forget who it was. It might have been Pierce. I can't remember if it was Pierce or not. We'd have to ask him, see if he remembers. Somebody was playing horseshoes, and Double R was there, back when Double R was at the radio station, and Double R's brother was there, and somebody overthrew the horseshoe over the pit and hit Double R's brother in the chest.
Oh!
And I can't remember if it was Pierce or not, but somebody that was in our group of the softball guys that went down there nailed his brother in the chest with a horseshoe.
Oh, my gosh. What radio station are you talking about?
KSW.
When they had the foul ball softball team, they would travel and
I
play
had no
people if
clue.
you invited
No
them
clue.
to.
No clue.
Yeah. No, it was awesome.
I like
man.
this.
Yeah.
Wow. Did anything happen? Did the guy like
I don't remember.
break a rib?
I don't
Did
remember.
he cry 'cause he got hit in the ribs?
I just remember the screaming and yelling. It was like, oh, they threw it. Like, it hit the guy.
That night was fun, though. That was cool.
It was cool that they came down and played, and then
I challenged people to a leg wrestling
Yeah,
competition.
yeah, that's the thing. If you got good sized quads and you see Craig at a bar, yeah, I would just leg wrestle him.
I've leg wrestled in most of the bars in Enumclaw.
And if you won.
Yeah.
I think he's got a pretty good win percentage.
Yeah. And the person, I meant, I guess we could, it's not like he's going to listen to this anyway, but the radio station personality that I challenged that I thought was going to be awesome because he always talked about how big his calves are is the Ted Smith. And we didn't do it.
He was too scared.
Maybe.
It was
Or he
ginger
just thought we were-
pride. He
or
couldn't
he-
do another ginger.
or he just-
he's a ginger, isn't he? Yeah.
Or he just thought we're
if I remembered.
Enumclaw idiots and
Yeah.
didn't want to be here anymore.
Who's this asshole over here trying to
Irish are the
leg wrestle
greatest
me?
leg wrestlers in the world.
I'm pretty sure you beat Ben Boyd in the ski one night too. I remember being there.
Yeah, we actually laid on the ski ground.
I can't believe it. Have you guys? I've laid on that couch. I was so tired one day. I laid on that
That's
couch.
disgusting.
Have you guys ever done that?
I sat
On
on
the
it
couch?
once, and that's it.
Yeah.
No.
The first time I was there, I went over there and sat, and I was told never do it again, and I
Yeah.
never did.
No, I've.
But again, I did lay on the ground, so I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how much better that is.
Same thing. Another thing about my brother, since we're making fun of my brother. Same thing. Softball. I thought you were going to tell me that to say this. Actually, when he's in softball, gets invited. Hey, we're going to play some softball. We're going to be in this league. He plays like shortstop, gets a grounder, goes to throw it home, but he's so like nervous.
He had the knob blocks.
He also, yeah, he was so nervous. He was so like intense, like need to make the play to win the game. And he gets the grounder, goes to throw it home, and just overshoots even the catch fence, like everything. The ball goes into the parking lot.
See, I did that once, but I was lucky. I was playing right field, and I got the ball and it was play at second base, and I was like, I'm just gonna just nail it. Like, this is gonna be such a good throw. I went out, I threw as hard as I could, and I threw it to third base. And
Like a full on, like,
yeah, it went to third base.
You were in right field?
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a
It would
straight.
have been
it
an
was
amazing throw to third base, but I was supposed to throw to second base. And then I remember
to stop the runner.
somebody made a joke like, "He's just showing you he can." Like, it was literally I just overthrew it because I was trying so hard to throw the ball. Like, yeah, I meant to do that. See how strong my arm
Yeah.
is? Yeah,
Lucky.
yeah. Stay a second. I crow hop too, just if you were wondering.
Yeah, that's
Outfield tip.
that's why I don't play softball. My wife begs me to play. She plays, and I just know that I want to be at some point. It's not going to be every play, but at some point, there's going to be reliance upon me, whether I'm the last at bat, whether it's going to be hit to me, and I'm going to have to perform. And my wife should know that I really can't perform that well.
Just go play catcher.
Yeah.
Catcher, I'm going to have to catch the ball and get somebody out at home.
And he's gonna have to throw it back to the pitcher.
Yeah. Oh, every freaking
Gonna get
play.
the yips again. Oh God!
Just hand it back to the ump. Keep those back.
Why is this softball game taking 8 hours? Well, this freaking catcher keeps running the ball back out to the pitcher after every play.
That would be me.
We had one game that took forever because we let anybody pitch on our team, And so it was like, you want to go pitch? Go try it. And I think Garrett went and tried it. And I remember Seth
Loop, who listens.
Yes.
went and started pitching,
Shout-
and it just took forever because they were trying to get the ball over the plate, and nobody knew how to really
walking
pitch.
people left and right.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, I think we're good. I think we hit it. It's so funny. It's always like being in like a surgery where the first like 30 minutes is like prep. And then you start getting cutting in, and then it's like, okay, now we're finding our vibe, we're finding our role, and it's like, okay, sorry, time's up. So the insurance is only good for an hour and 5 minutes. Tie him back up. Hopefully he's cured. But we do have to get going, or else I'll be here spending my entire break.
You don't want to hit another 2 or 3 hour episode like that.
I can get Spotify to kind of show me like when do people stop listening. I haven't looked in like a year. Okay, it's been a while, but I would be interested to see if someone like of the how many downloads like did half like bail after like
10 minutes.
Yeah.
I imagine like the average has got to be like 45. Like once it goes past 45, you're like, this better be a good conversation.
The most downloads I've ever received in like a single week has been that little song that me and my brother sang for Christmas that. I don't know. Maybe if you listen to,
everybody wanted to see what it was about.
Everyone, yeah, it's 5 minutes. I'll jump in there. Yeah. Hopefully, it snagged just one person.
I don't have to have a huge attention span to listen to a 5-minute video.
All right. Well, shout out to everybody. Thanks for listening. Hit us up on, like Craig said, hit us up. Tell us what you want to talk about. We're going to start getting into drafts. I'll actually put together drafts. I know I said that in the past, but we're going to put together literal drafts. So give us topics for like best road trip destination to best beer to best movie to best, musical. Best musical. Craig's
down for that.
Craig's already in. He loves White Christmas.
I love musicals.
Craig's
Period.
in.
Best park in Enumclaw.
Best park.
Spoiler, it's Montgomery Park. Played basketball there every day.
We should also talk about the best rims of a basketball because there's some parks that they had the better court, but their rims were garbage.
Are you talking about Montgomery and the double rims? Come on.
It was the
If
worst.
you can get good on double rims, you're
Double
good.
rims, but no
no forgiveness at all. Or you had the shrunk up basketball backboards too.
What happens? You complain about those double rims. You get sent over to that little court with the little 6 foot. Go over there and stay away from us.
That's where you play 21. That's all I
Yeah, that was a bump court.
Bump court and 21. Playing on the lower rim for 21 was electric. Anyway, that sounds like a fun topic, right, guys? Well, too bad. We're not going to talk about it.
Is this the end? Are you stopping right now?
We're going to stop.
Mariano Rivera, my recommendation is...
Football. Fantasy. Football. Fantasy. Football. Fantasy. Football.